Hello guys, welcome to today's STPL. My name is Kix. It looks like I'll be solo casting today, but that's okay. It should all go smoothly, hopefully. That's obviously a big ask. I'm just going to quickly open my dashboard on my phone, because I always forget to do that. And it's super important too, because it allows me to see the chat while I'm casting as well. So one of the things I need to look to buy is a second monitor at some point soon. Just because it's kind of annoying having a tab out to see the chat and everything. So, what have we got coming up today? We have another couple of exciting series, starting off here with aSh versus White. aSh versus White should be a lot of fun. Obviously, if you watched in Season 1, this would probably be one of the more one-sided matchups. But this is a different aSh. They're doing a lot better. They've got a lot of really good players now. And honestly, I'm really hopeful at how they're going to do in this series. I think it could be quite close. They've got a lot of good players, which we're going to go into now. Obviously, White Clan second overall in Season 1, so very, very strong team. And of course, they are 3-0 against aSh at the moment. They are 4-1 in the league. They did lose to Seoul last week, so they're coming off of a loss here. So maybe let's see if aSh can make something out of their loss and turn it into another loss here. As we have a look at the rosters we're going to be looking at today. Starting us off, we're going to have the one, the only Squall versus Joa. Squall, obviously a very, very famous foreign player. Dreamer versus Sinbi in a PvP on Whiteout. A TVZ between the one and only TTF and Fairy on Neo Arkanoid. And then we've got Hit 'em Up, aka Logan, versus Bai on Carthage 3. That should be a lot of fun. Bai, obviously one of the strongest Terrans in the STPL overall, so always good to see his games. In terms of the top 10, I don't actually believe any of them are in it. Let's just have a quick look at the top 10 overall. Obviously we do have a... Yeah, we have a yellow system in the STPL if you haven't seen it before. And essentially... Okay, it looks like... I really do need to try and keep this on the screen, otherwise it doesn't play very nice. But yeah, top 10. None of the players we'll see in this series are in the top 10, but Bai is very, very close behind Yeti, if I remember correctly. I do need to find a way to kind of output the whole list, so people are actually able to have a look and see what the overall rankings are, but some very, very strong players on both of these teams. Let's actually introduce both, or let's introduce the map first. Starting us off, we are going to be having a ZVP. So, ZVP on this map. It's currently 2-for-2, completely statistically even so far in the STPL, obviously. In terms of how this map plays out, there's a lot of different variations of build orders you can do, so I'm looking forward to getting into the game to explain those a little bit more. And essentially, close by air, very, very strong for Zerg. Cross positions are pretty strong for Protoss here. So let's have a look at our players and let's get ready to get into the game. So starting us off here for aSh, we're going to have the Spanish player in Squall. Now Squall is a very, very good, well, he used to be a very, very good Zerg player in the foreign scene. He's not been as active recently, but he was a member of the Templar of Twilight, one of the most well-known clans outside of Korea. And so far he's only played against Marwyn and he did lose, but it was a relatively close game, and Marwyn is an incredibly good player. Now his opponent fighting for White Clan is going to be Joa. Now Joa, a little bit unknown to me. I'm not really 100% sure on who he is. I know that Gyro, the clan leader, sent me a massive long list of who everyone was, but Joa actually got added recently, so I think he's just a Korean amateur player. I don't think he's been in any major leagues or anything like that. But it's always fun to see new players from our teams as well as some of the older greats, such as Squall. So let's get into game number 1. It's going to be here on Multiverse. It's Squall versus Joa. Oh, and I still haven't fixed the MoveBot thing. Sorry, Sneaky Lava. But yeah, let's see how we go. Okay, starting us off here in the 12 o'clock position, we do have the blue Protoss fighting for White Clan. It's Joa. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left in the red, we have Squall fighting for aSh. Now obviously we don't really have too many statistics for either of these guys, or either of these players should I say, so not really too much going on in the bottom right for now, but this is a really cool map for ZVP. It's one of my favorite maps from the recent ASLs. I'd nearly put in Sparkle over this. I was very close to doing that back before week 1. But I realized we already had like a couple of kind of semi-island maps, so I thought it'd be a little bit crazy to have those and an island map. So Multiverse got in instead. Now you can obviously lock the way through the middle, but we do have close by ground positions, so it's not going to be as useful to do that. But this is going to benefit Squall a little bit, because obviously Hydro Busts are going to be a lot stronger when you can get straight across the map to your opponent. Now we've got an overpull coming in for Squall, and just a gateway expand coming in from Joa, so pretty standard openings for both of these players. Not really too much else to say, other than the fact we're almost at the weekend. Now in terms of actual ZVP on this map, the average game duration is about 14.5 minutes overall, but it's actually 18 minutes here for ZVP. So I wonder if we're going to have a little bit of a longer game as we get through here. Now it looks like Joe is going to do a pretty good job blocking this hatchery, forcing Squall to maybe go expand to somewhere he doesn't want to. And obviously the later the expansion is, the more of a problem early Zealots can be, because you just don't have any form of production early on off of just one hatchery. Now he is going to drone scout, gonna scout that it is a gateway first. Super important to see this. Does allow Squall to be able to get ready with some Zergling. Sees the... Oh, is he going to block the other side of the wall? This would be kind of funny. But probe against drone is not some of the drones ever going to win. So the drone's going to fall back. Forge goes down. And there is a couple of lings out already. Now the second hatchery is finally coming up. This is going to be coming up on the one of the furthest bases away from Joa. But it's not in the bottom left, so he's going to be able to get lings away from it. By bottom left, I mean there's actually a base down here. But let's have a look on the Zealot, see how many kills he can get off the lings, and let's see what the surround is like. But Squall doing a pretty good job so far. Just getting a few little hits on there before Joa can really do too much damage. But it's actually really a nice micro by Squall. It's really difficult to get this done. Joa finally getting at one of the lings. Is going to be able to get behind the minerals, but unfortunately got them around the wrong way. So the probe could not help the Zealot. It just kind of got in the way. And the Zealot goes down. So looking pretty good for Squall. Third hatchery coming up as well. Now this is an incredibly quick fourth hatchery. If you think about it, we've got one in the main, two in the natural now, and one over in the other natural. Now, one of the funny things about these Templar of Twilight Zergs, you have Norgrim as well, and sometimes Eriador plays like this. They play incredibly greedy. Like, I don't know how Norgrim gets away with it. Eriador not so much. He plays kind of more standard, but Norgrim especially, when you watch him, like, he'll just go for 1 million hatcheries, 1 million drones, and he'll somehow not die. So let's see if Squall's going to be able to do that. Now, obviously, we do have a hidden base down here, which is going to be able to get away with murder pretty much, because Joa is not going to be wanting to send anything down there, given the fact it's so far away. Now, we do have the Nexus coming up in Joa's natural. There's going to be a Stargate coming up most likely soon after this, once the core is done. Oh, the core hasn't been started yet, so that's a little bit of a win for Squall if he can get his tech up a little bit quicker. But this Zealot doing a pretty good job coming into the right location. Gonna kill 3? No, only 2 lings before it's taken down. And that's very unfortunate. But look at this, there's another Zealot here. The trouble is, he sent Zealots in over and over again, and I don't think he's actually managed to kill a single drone. I mean, Squall is doing pretty good right now. He doesn't have a massive drone count, which is obviously going to be a problem. And one of the Lings unfortunately bugged out, so he does lose way more Lings here than he should have done. But does clean it up, and this time there's going to be 2 Zealots coming in. You could deal with 1, now try 2. And we'll have to see if there's going to be a group of 3 coming in for the final boss here. But looks like the Lings should be able to handle this pretty easily. More Lings coming out as well. The Zealots, very, very low on HP already. And this, I don't even know how many Zealots he's lost now, but it feels like the 10th Zealot or something is now going down. I think it's not been that many, but it feels like it's been above 5 at the very least. So another 2 Zealots going down. Another Zealot is actually being rallied across the map, plus 1 attack is on the way. But the issue is, okay, here we go, so Stargate Citadel. The power of this plus 1 timing for Protoss is you have like 15 Zealots, or maybe a few less, like 12, but it's still a ton. But after losing so many Zealots, just running them across the map, yes, it's forcing out a ton of Lings. But is it going to give him enough power a little bit later on? Look at that, Norgrim getting a perfect engagement on that Zealot, not losing a single Ling. And the Spire's on the way now. There's no second gas just yet. So that means it's very unlikely we're going to see Mutalisks here. But with a 5th hatchery coming down here, there's going to be an Evo Chamber to help wall this off. Squall is in an incredible position. And look at this, a probe coming in now, trying to see what's going on. I mean, he's going to be able to get in, but not fully. Does see the 2 hatcheries at the natural, but I mean, if you think about it, he doesn't know about this base down here, and is Squall really going to take a 4th base already? He's going up to 6 hatcheries before a Hydra Den. This is just crazy. Okay, so the Spire's almost done. Still no Hydra Den, so it very well could be Mutalisks here, because without a Hydra Den you can't really be building too many other units. There's another 3 Zealots coming in this time, plus 1 attack. Still not yet finished, about 2/3 of the way done. But drones have been pulled this time to try and block the Zealots from getting in the main. The Sunken doing a pretty good job so far, but losing finally a couple of drones, and oh my god, this blocking has been really nice from Squall. And 2 of the Zealots do go down. He has killed a good couple of drones there, but he's not going to get too many more, I wouldn't have assumed, but you can never really assume too much when Zealots are involved, because plus 1 attack is about to be done. There's no additional units here from Squall. Okay, here we go, a Ling's going to come in. Not going to quite kill the Zealot, you should just turn around and target that, but unfortunately, he's overreacting a little bit. Does lose another drone, and finally the Mutalisks have come out. Now, Corsairs actually did fly down to scout the bottom middle base, but he didn't check the natural, so he still does not know about Squall's 3rd base. The Scourge actually in a really good position, unable to quite get their hands on that Corsair there, but the Corsair is going to be very, very important. Okay, so luckily enough, Joa is reacting to the Mutalisks pretty well. He's building cannons in his mineral lines. He's still building Zealots. Plus 1 attack is now finished. Speed is now done. But look at the difference in this game compared to a normal PvZ. Like, at this point, Joa should have around 15 to 20 Zealots, I think, with the amount of Zealots he's actually lost. And he would have a really, really powerful timing, but I don't really see that timing working in this game. Now, Joa is going to send his Zealots out. I think he's still going to look around to see if he can find a hidden hatchery somewhere, because he feels like there must be a 3rd base. Now, the one problem that Squall actually has is he doesn't have many units that can deal with the Corsairs right now. There's not a massive amount of Mutalisks. Looks like he is going to stop on around 4. This will help him against the Zealots, obviously, but it's not going to help him against the Corsairs. Now, 6th hatchery is coming in. Zealots, I mean, they're going to run down to this installation gate. They cannot go through there. You cannot glitch units through there either. The only unit that can get through is a mineral walking worker. That's a little bit unfortunate for Joa, but luckily enough for him, there's no actual base down there. So it looks like the Corsairs are probably going to go and try and figure out if there's actually a base there. But look at this, the Mutalisks split by Squall doing pretty well. The Scourge coming in from behind. Let's see if they can get some connections. Nope, no connections just yet. But very close. Okay, wow, those Scourge died pretty quickly. And Edgewater, in terms of, isn't it normal to with your 6 hatchery before Hydro Den if your macro is undisturbed? I mean, I guess that's true. But in the way this game is going, like, I wouldn't have said that Squall's macro was undisturbed at any point. Now, the unfortunate thing is he has mannered his gas, so his gas mining, not as efficient as maybe it could be, but I don't think it's a massive deal. I don't know if this is part of that video that got released recently on how to like mess up your gas mining so it's a little bit more efficient, but the Mutalist is going to fly around, see the probe, not kill it, but he is going to be trying to take out these Corsairs if he can. He has a good number of Scourge, does need to be careful. Both the Corsairs and the Archon here are going to do a ton of damage to the air units of Squall, and realistically, that's all he actually has right now. Back at the natural, he has around 6 Hydralisks. That is not going to be enough to hold on to a big army. Another Overlord going down in his other natural. He has another 6 Hydras, just going to 8 now. So if he can bring those in and get those in the fight here, he may be in a better position. But the trouble is, his unit composition is getting kind of hard counted here because he kind of went for the middle of the road here. He went for a few Mutalisks. They didn't really do anything, but they forced out more Corsairs. And then he just kind of built drones and Sunkens. I mean, he's at 59 drones, over 46 probes right now. His economy is ridiculous. He's on 4 bases. He's on 4 gases already. And he's going to definitely be able to go into Hive fairly soon. He just has to defend against this big push that Joe is going to be going for. I think he's actually waiting for +2 attack to finish. It is a way away, but the longer he waits, the more reinforcements he gets. And he is going into his Robo facility now. Let's check the gateways. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gateways overall. Is there no Templar tech? Yeah, there is. Okay, so Storm is on the way as well, but that is very late for Joa here. Yeah, Squall is the guy from like 2004. He used to play in Templars of Twilight. Look at this, Joa checking in the bottom left for a base. He's like, where is your economy coming from? How have you got this much stuff? He's going to see the 4th base. He's going to see the 3rd base. And look at this, he's immediately running down. He's like, wow, okay, you've got a base down here. I need to kill it. And this is the moment of truth. He sees the other base as well. And there's already a really good amount of SimCity. A ton of Sunkens down there. And looks like Joa isn't really sure where to push. He knows he can't break down the bottom right, but he's not going to be able to break in the top left either the way this is going. And he's going to be forced to retreat. In terms of upgrades, we have +1 done for the Hydralisks, +2 very nearly done for the Protoss player now. And slowly but surely, he's just taking more and more damage. And look at this, there's no Templar with this army. If Squall micros this properly, he is going to win this engagement, but he does need to be careful. But look at the red lines swarming across the minimap right now. There are tons of Hydras coming in, and this is not going to be enough for Joa. The anti-timing for him, unfortunately, with no Storm and losing his first High Templar as well. I mean, Squall is in a ridiculously good position in this game. Looks like Joa gonna try and expand to the top left, but is it gonna be enough? It's gonna be hard to tell. The Hydra's moving in. There's not actually that many units back here. We don't even have a Storm yet. Now, the Overlords have been taken out for Squall, a good number of them. So it has supply blocked him for a little bit, which makes this push a little bit less dangerous, but this is still so many Hydralisks right now, and they are barreling down at the front. Now, luckily enough, there is a Storm, and it's a pretty good Storm. Could have been a little bit better, but that second one is definitely a juicy one here, as looks like Joe is going to try and push out with a couple of Zealots. He knows he has to hold on to his base here. There's another Storm. No additional Storm, close to a couple, and there's Lurkers here now. And this Forge, the +3, is surely going to be cancelled here, and it depends if Joe is even going to be able to hold on to this. He doesn't have the right unit composition. That's a big Storm, though. So much damage going down on these Hydralisks, even getting a good amount of damage down on the Overlords, and he's going to push forward, trying to save his Archon and his final cannons here. But he just doesn't have enough units. Squall continuing to rally more and more units across the map. I thought this was a Storm drop or something, but it's only Corsairs. they're not going to be helping him anymore. He has absolutely nothing left at his natural. Third base is not up properly. GG. Joa taps out and Squall takes game number 1. Well, that was a pretty well played game by Squall. Obviously, lots of merit there for him. He got his third base up completely unhindered. He got his fourth base up completely unhindered. His economy exploded, and he built a ton of Hydralisks to win the game. So that's just completely ridiculous. Now, it looks like our second game, someone was replaced. So rather than having Dreamer versus... Who was Dreamer meant to be against? Let me double check. So instead of Dreamer versus Cindy, we're going to have someone called Jessica. So we'll quickly update the overlay, add that player to it as well, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes with game number 2. See you guys very soon.
And people like Kix, for example, who has an encyclopedic knowledge of every map that's ever been released on StarCraft. And
he's the map man! Skibidi on do do do. Skibidi on do do do. Skibidi on do do do. He's the map man! Ba-da-ba-da-ba-dee da ba-ba-da-boop. Ba-ba-ba-da-boop. Bee-da-ba-ba-da-boop. Ba-ba-ba-da-boop. Everybody plays one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, I don't let nothing hold you back. If Kix can do it, so can you. Gooba-dooba-dooba-dee-da-ba-ba-da-boop, ba-ba-ba-da-boop.
Please don't listen to him for maps.
Yeah.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for our second game of our first series here in the STPL Season 2, Week 6. We're obviously watching aSh versus White right now. Let's introduce our next map and then we'll go into the players. We're going to be heading into White out here. This was one of the ASL Season 7 maps. Really, really cool that we get to see this here. It's one of my favorite more modern 3-player maps. It's really, really cool to watch games on. And in PvP, it's actually been quite exciting. The PvPs we've had here have been pretty incredible. Like Oya versus Cindy is one of the best PvPs I think we've had in the STPL. It was really, really well played by both the players. Obviously Oya with the victory in the end, but let's actually introduce both of our players for this series. Starting for aSh, we're going to have Dreamer. Now Dreamer, back in Season 1 was actually the captain of, he was the captain of MSJ. MSJ stepped out because they didn't get enough kind of players and things like that. But he's done a really, really good job for aSh since he's moved over. He's got a 43% win ratio overall, a 50% win ratio against Protoss, and his opponent is going to be a Korean Protoss called Jessica fighting for White Clan. Now, I have no idea who this player is. They did sub in for Cindy. They've not played in the STPL before, so we're going to be learning about them as we go on, as we get into game number 2. Okay, starting us over here in the 2 o'clock position, we have the Cyan Protoss fighting for White Clan. It's Jessica. And his opponent spawning down here in the top left-hand position in the green, fighting from Russia for aSh. It's Dreamer. Now, if you're wondering where Radley is, he's actually taking a couple of weeks break. I'm not sure how many weeks he's actually taking a break for, but essentially he's got quite busy IRL, so he's going to take a little bit of a break. He will be back, hopefully. He's also in that break going to be training some more interesting styles, so when he eventually does come back for aSh, it should be a really, really explosive re-entrance. We'll have to get like some WWE style re-entrance music for when he comes back. Like the Undertaker theme kicks in and he like jumps out of a coffin and he like ends up running through. But this is going to be a PvP. Dreamer, of course, a very strong player for aSh, and Jessica, once again, not really too sure about them, but it looks like they are both going mirror builds for the time being, so not really too much else to be said now. John C. Radley, yeah. Oh man, he's also got a he's got a username that he used to use called J.E. Rayner, which is an incredible username. Obviously Jim Rayner, but yeah. His favorite, in terms of Dreamer, Dreamer's obviously pretty good Protoss player. Obviously, don't want to talk about Radley too much when he's not even going to be playing. But one of the funny things is how I keep looking over at my phone, and then I'll look at Twitch chat on my PC as well, and the colors for everyone's names will be different. It's so weird how that does that. But still, mirror builds for both players, not really too much to say. We did have a Zealot for both players. Now Dreamer... Wait, no, Dreamer actually skipped Zealot? Yeah, Dreamer skipped a Zealot here, so that's obviously a little bit of a benefit. Allows you to get a quicker Dragoon out. But not by much. Let's check the range timing. The range timing for Jessica is actually ahead of Dreamer's, so not really sure what the benefit of actually skipping that Zealot was in this game, but obviously Jessica didn't... Oh, Dreamer's going to try and play a little bit cheeky here, adding a pylon down in the bottom right. Now, I'm almost certain this is going to be for a robo, because I don't think you can build on this, and there's not really room for anything else. I don't think you can fit a gateway in this location, so likely going to be a proxy robo here. Maybe skipping that Zealot gets you a little extra minerals to do this a little bit earlier on, and it also allows you to hide a third pylon in your base. And I know that sounds really silly, but it's to try and throw off Jessica. If Jessica sees the third pylon coming in, maybe they think, hey, there's no proxy stuff happening to me, so that extra 100 minerals going to use here. Now it is going to be a proxy robo. Looks like the probe did eventually go down in Dreamer's base, so when you're going for this kind of proxy style, it can be a little bit hit or miss. It's very much a coin flip, because obviously if it goes well, you can win the game. If it doesn't, you can go, or you can actually be really, really hard, really, really behind even. Okay, so Xmog in chat, just because I mentioned J. Rayner before, J.E means apparently His Majesty in Polish, so that's kind of cool. Now, if he does block the bridge, Jesse, it's not the biggest deal because he's not going to be running the Reaver up anyway. He's going to be waiting to get a shot out. Now, what is Jessica doing? Jessica's going into a second gate and a robo themselves. Second gateway obviously coming in from Dreamer, but the tech is a lot faster here for Dreamer, which is going to be a massive, massive benefit. Now, shuttle first, obviously going to have that ready for when the Reaver's done. Now, Dreamer does need to be careful if you push across the map with even numbers of units. Obviously, the player defending is going to have the advantage because the units in reinforcements come back a little bit quicker, whereas Dreamer has to rally the whole way across the map. Now, are we going to see shuttle speed coming in, or are we going to see an expansion before that? Looks like a probe has been taken down. And here we go. It looks like Jessica is going to jump on Dreamer's units. Now, this is kind of what Dreamer wants. He wants to pull Jessica as far away from their base as possible, as this Reaver is going to be getting ready to fly in behind. And that's obviously going to be the big power play. Now, support bait coming in from Jessica as well. So it is going to be Reaver versus Reaver. No natural expansion from either player just yet. And going for a natural expansion here could actually be a bit risky. I mean, it always is risky to try and expand in PvP. But when your opponent is going for a big Reaver proxy like this, if you try and expand, you're suddenly going to have less units. Now, it looks like the Reaver has spawned. The Scarabs are being queued up. And we're going to have the drop coming in. Now, Jessica is going to see this, but very, very late. There's nothing to scout down here. In terms of what the reaction's going to be, let's see how quickly Jessica's units react. Here we go, the Reaver dropping off in the main. Oh my goodness! 7 kills, 11 kills on the Reaver already, and that may already be enough to catapult Dreamer into a win in this game, and that would put aSh 2-0 up against White Clan, which would be ridiculous given the previous season stats. But here we go, the second Reaver coming in. This Reaver certainly a hero. The second Reaver going to load up as well, and the problem Jessica has is Jessica does not have her, or have their Reaver yet. I want to say her, but I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, so I'm saying there. But either way, the 2 Reavers coming in here is going to do a big amount of work here. We're going to have Reaver on Reaver, Gateway units on Gateway units action. And let's see what the connections are like. The first Scarabs going off on those Zealots. Not going to do too much damage. Dreamer does need to be careful. Oh, but Jessica losing their Reaver. And this could be very bad. 2 Reavers on the low ground against none is going to be a massive, massive problem. Oh my god, the shuttle's going to go down for Jessica as well. Oh, the 2 Reavers drop out. And I think this could be it. Oh, the Scarab. How did that not bug? Oh, a Reaver spawning here, going to go down. No! Saves the Reaver at the back. This could be the big power play that keeps Jessica in this game. The Robo being targeted down, though. But there's no shuttle anymore. The Reavers cannot be picked back up. And the Dragoons will eventually be cleaned up. And with good micro, Jessica can actually clear this up as well. But look at these Scarabs. Oh my god, the Scarab getting caught, not doing much damage at all. But the Reaver going down. There's no more Reavers. Oh, the Scarab! Whoa, kaboom! Does so much damage. And that's ridiculously good. And yeah, Squall 1 game 1 Rapid. Good to see ya. Okay, I mean, Dreamer is in such an unbelievable position in this game. This proxy did so much damage initially. Only 7 probes going down to start with, but now Dreamer has double the amount of probes. The same number of gateways, but will have another Reaver and another shuttle soon. And with observers here as well, Dreamer is going to confirm pretty much what we can already see in the fact that he is in a ridiculous position. That's just crazy. So much damage by those Scarabs. I hope someone clipped those, otherwise I'm going to have to go clip it myself. Okay, Jessica sniping the Observer. That's a pretty big pick-off. Obviously, Observer's very, very important in PvP. Now, there's no hope really of Jessica getting into DTs, so that's going to be a big worry for Dreamer. But obviously, the more time you spend building Observers, you're not building Reavers, and you're not building Shuttles. So that's obviously what Dreamer's going to want to go for. Now, Dreamer is kind of sitting back, trying to do pretty well. Just macro up, just get further and further ahead. But obviously, if by some miracle Jessica can get another Robo up, maybe there could be a big counter Reaver drop. But here we go, another Reaver coming into the main. There's an Observer here to escort this in as well. Jessica's units completely far away from everything that's going on. And okay, this Scarab isn't going to do anything. Oh my god, it still got 3 probes. I thought that had bugged out, but apparently not. And Jessica continues to find themselves further and further behind. A great played game by Dreamer. Look at this Gateway army. There's no upgrades, but Dreamer doesn't need it. He's going to push across the map here. Another pylon coming in just to help power some maybe cannons later on if necessary. And I think this should just be the final moments of this game. As long as Dreamer just picks everything and just runs. Like, that's all Dreamer needs to actually do. Now, trying to be covert here, maybe going to cause some problems if Jessica goes for a big counter. But here we go, Jessica going to get surrounded from both sides. The forest is not going to offer any protection. 2 Reavers in the shuttle again, and these 2 Reavers are going to carry Dreamer and aSh into a 2-0 lead over White Clan here at the end of game number 2. Okay, so that was a pretty exciting game number 2. Obviously Dreamer doing a very good job, and aSh are 2-0 up against White Clan. What year is this? In Season 1, that would... I'm not being funny. I don't want to say anything bad about aSh in Season 1, but they struggled with their roster. But this round, they are doing so much better. It's just ridiculous. Like, we're going to have a game number 3 with aSh 2-0 up after this short break. See you guys very soon.
Outstanding. Rock and roll.
STPL does. Bio TVP. Wow! You got it. STPL does. Mass Scouts? No problem. Broadcast 3 nights a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2100 CEST. Fantastic casting, fantastic production, fantastic prizes. Only here on the STPL. Did you know Reavers could be this radical? How did these lings even get here? All I know is that's one dead base. STPL does. Wraiths, Valkyries, Carriers, and Corsairs. Forget about it. You won't see that anywhere else. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. DT's doing game-ending damage? Name a more iconic duo. We've even got carriers in PvZ. How amazing! A global team league on the scale you've never seen before. Don't see this in BWCL, STPL does. All that and more, only on this amazing 64-bit STPL. What BWCL don't. Impressed? I know I am. Why not support us on the link below? Patreon.com/kicks. But act fast. It's a limited offer.
Coast 103.5.
Okay, for our third map, we're going to be taking a look at Desperado, a 2007 MSL map. Once again, another relatively old map in this pool, but it led to some incredibly good games back in the day, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it will do in the modern meta, as it works a little bit differently from a lot of the more modern maps. The main difference being there is no gas in the natural, but there is a second gas that's easier to take, so Zerg are not in trouble as the main actually has 2 gases in it by itself, so almost like a one base map. There's lots of different variations of builds you can do. Tech builds on this map are incredibly good, but it's also very easy to defend as well, as the mineral only is choked off by some minerals which you can mine out to open up the attack path later on. The top and bottom have a gas base, as well as the left and right have island gas bases as well. All relatively easy to defend. Drops very good on this map as well. Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for our third game here in our first series. Now this is going to be a TVZ. I know that's kind of the fan favorite matchup, so it should be a lot of fun. Let's actually introduce our map first. It's definitely one of the strangest maps in the map pool. Maybe one of the strangest maps ever created in Brood War ever since its creation. This was one of the Kesper maps, so it has had professional games played on it. You can go back and watch them. And essentially, Neo Arkanoid, very fun. The main map feature is the neutral buildings that block absolutely every path on the ground. You can get through them deceptively quickly. They actually look a lot stronger than they actually are. Obviously you have Chrysalis, well I say obviously, it's not really super obvious, but you have Chrysalis blocking the expansions, and 4-player map overall. So let's introduce both of our players. Now for aSh, we're actually going to have a new player here for them in the STPL, but if you've been following Foreign Brood War for any length of time, you will know who this is. It is going to be TTF. Now, TTF is the player who knocked out Artosis from the Corrupted Cup earlier this year, just last month. And it's really cool to see him here in the SCPL finally. One of the strongest Russian Terrans, along with Casper. Gonna be lots of fun, and also, who's that other foreign? Gargoyle is the other. No, wait, no, Gargoyle isn't Casper, they're different. I always get them mixed up, but TTF, really cool Terran player. Looking forward to seeing him. And his opponent is going to be someone who used to play for Sparkies long time ago. I think Fairy was kind of more one of the upper B teamers. And of course SPX is Russian as well. I keep forgetting he's not Polish. Will it come back? Corrupted Cup? Yes it will. It's been guaranteed to be back next year, so I'm hoping, if at all possible, that maybe I can go there next year and cast, but obviously we've got a lot to work towards to get there, but it's cool. So this is going to be a 4-player map. It's going to be a TVZ. It's TTF versus Fairy as we get into game number 3, sorry. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the blue Terran fighting for aSh. It's TTF. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left, fighting in the orange for White Clan from South Korea. It's Fairy. Now you'll note that TTF isn't using his proper clan tag. He's actually using his Corrupted Cup account. The reason for this is essentially he didn't know that he had to he didn't know he had to play on his aSh ID, so next time we see him, he'll be wearing his aSh tags, which is super important. Obviously this is a clan and team league, so obviously seeing the players represent their clans is super important. Now, it is a TVZ, one of my favorite matchups. My favorite, I think, overall is probably TVP, because I'm kind of weird like that, but TVZ definitely a lot of fun. Now, Fairy has done a pretty good job in TVZ from what I've seen, or ZVT should I say. but we've not seen any ZVTs from them in the STPL so far, so it's going to be kind of cool. Obviously, neither player has really too many stats to go on, and we don't actually have that many TVZs on here in general. There's only 5 TVZs, and we've actually had a ton of games. Now, there is a statistic that I forgot to bring up, but I will bring up now we've got through the game. Squall was one of the original Brood War foreign players in Templar of Twilight, and he just took part in the 1000th game in the STPL ecosystem, minus the Christmas Cup, which I need to add. So we've hit the 1000 game mark. Obviously, overall, we started STPL Season 1 back in March 2018. We finished it... Wait, was it March 2018 or was it earlier? No, it was March 2018. And we finished it in... we finished it in June 2019. So we had about 15 months of Season 1, which is just ridiculous. Now, Season 2 is going to be a lot shorter. It's going to be maximum around about 15, 16, 17 weeks. We're in week 6 so far. There is 13 weeks overall in the group stage. So we're almost about halfway through the group stage. So it's going to be kind of cool to see the results at the end of this week, as the top 8 teams at the very end of the group stage will be going in to the playoffs at the very end. So that should be fun. Okay, so both players are playing this out how I would kind of expect. We've got 2 hatch there coming in from Fairy. Now, Fairy has opted to kind of build the hatchery off center. Now, this you would think is bad, but realistically, you're not going to be taking the gas super quickly, and you are going to be able to clean up these with the lings, so you can build your 3rd hatchery here, and everything is fairly normal for Zerg. Now, it did force a pull first, which kind of makes it a little bit more annoying, but it's not the biggest deal. We've got TTF going into from a 14cc into an expansion, also breaking through the Chrysalis here, and going into mech behind this. It's going to be double factory. We're going to have an armory coming up soon after this as well, and we are going to see a ton of Goliaths being pumped out by him. Okay, so we should see a 3rd hatchery coming in here from Fairy. Yeah, there we go. This is going to be a 3rd hatchery. 3 hatch. Most likely Spire, yeah, so it's going to be 2 hatch Spire into 3rd hatch, so nothing too crazy here. Now, it depends what Fairy's going to do with the Muteless could change the outcome of this game. Obviously, if you play super aggressively, if you go all in with Muteless, you can do. It's entirely within the power of the Zerg to do that, but I think playing this a little bit more macro-orientated could be a little bit better. But obviously, the later the game goes, the better and better mech upgrades scale, and the better Goliaths tanks they all become. Sorry. Now we've got an armory coming up from TTF as expected. We're likely going to have double Goliath and Charon boosters immediately, opting to not bother to build any of the units, and that's because on the ground, pretty well defended early on by these temples, by the power generators in the middle. Now, luckily enough, both players are actually going to scout each other first with their flying buildings. So, when I say flying buildings, this is a flying supply depot. Don't at me. Yeah, this is... Realistically, this map, historically, was not amazing for Zerg, but it wasn't terrible either. Now, if we actually have a look at the Pro League stats from this map, because this map was used... Oh, it's actually used in the OSL rather than Pro League. There was 76 TVZs played on this map. It was 65% win ratio for Terran. But in the STPL, things haven't been like that as such. Well, they kind of have. We've only had 5 games. It's 3-2 in favor of Terran. Here we go. The Mulus coming in to the main. Not getting too many kills, but does get away with all of his Mulus, which is the important thing. And let's see if he can do any damage at the natural. Good turret placement by TTF, but obviously the more turrets you build, the slower your factories are going to be. 3rd factory finally coming in here. Now, there's 2 ways of playing mech against Zerg. You kind of go either 3 factory, and you take a third super fast, which I think honestly would be the better build on this map, just because you do have this really easy to take third base, defended by all of the same buildings that defend everything else. Or you can go for 5 factory and go for a big aggressive play. Now we are going to have 4 fact at least to begin with. Charon boosters should be done by now. Let's see if it's +1 attack. Yeah, it's actually going to be +1 attack instead of +1 armor, so he is looking to very likely go up to a 5th factory here and just break his way through the middle of the map as soon as humanly possible. Now, normally that would be an incredible play, but obviously if Fairy knows this is coming, Fairy's going to have a ton of time to be able to defend against it. And there is a hatchery coming up at the 3rd base. TTF getting ready to build a 3rd expansion command center as well. So it looks like it is just going to be... yeah, it's going to be 4 fact into starport. So this isn't the most common. It's kind of not the most normal for a reason. Obviously, if you go for 3 factories into a command center, it's a little bit more economical. And if you don't go for 5 factory... essentially you're not getting enough units to actually punish the Zerg player, so kind of interesting to go for this 4 fact into starport, but starport obviously going to be quite important. It gets you the science facility. It's going to be late though for TTF, so TTF has actually built this way too late. +2 attack is not going to come on immediately. Now, is he going to go for +1 armor while he waits? Looks like he's not going to, but Muteless coming in, sniping off an SCV and flying away. Things looking pretty good for Fairy right now. Ooh, sacking a single Muteless, trying to see how many factories there are. Sees the 4 factories, sees the science facility coming up, and most importantly, sees the control tower is not done. So Fairy knows for a fact now that there's going to be no drops coming his way. No amount of Goliaths that TTF is going to be able to get on the ground should be enough to kill Fairy's army, given the fact that Fairy has gone for 3 hatch, and also knows there's no 5 factory, so that's summon. Queen's Nest on the way, very common to do this. One thing I really want to see Fairy do is get Overlord drop and just drop a drone down there to try and expand. Now the Muteless going to come back in once again, going to snipe a couple of these turrets, going to get the SCV as well, going to make it really difficult for TTF to try and expand to this base. Now this is kind of one of the problems, like if you're a Terran player, normally in this situation you'd want to expand here to begin with, just because once you get the defense up at that base you can kind of expand to here for free. But he doesn't have that power now. It's going to be quite difficult to be able to take a 3rd base. And we've actually got a creep colony coming in here as well. That's likely going to be for a spore, just to try and focus down any dropships. So it could be a sunken as well to stop any... yeah, it's going to be sunken to stop any vulture drops. Okay, Academy finally coming in here. This is one of the other problems with going for mech. You don't really know what your opponent's doing, just because, well, unless you can count the Mutelisks every time they fly in, because you don't genuinely want to get the Academy super quickly, so you can't scan. Now, he does know where his opponent is, but he doesn't really know what his opponent's up to, and he can't tell how many bases there are, but looks like Fairy gonna push down to the bottom right, take a 4th base. Super important here in this game. And I mean, this game looks like it could go the distance here, because I don't think the TTF is going to be looking to push out anytime soon. Going to secure his 3rd base, go up to 3 gases. It's full gases on each of the bases. The minerals, there's not actually that many minerals at each base, but you can stay on the 3 base corners for a while. So the SCV is actually going to be the ones to try and take down these Chrysalids. Nope, he got bored. He's going to send some Goliaths. You can just see how little damage these big temples actually take. They have 5,000 health. I can't remember if they have base armor, but they barely seem to take any damage when you're attacking them. But breaking out this will allow him to take his 4th base in the bottom middle. Now, interestingly, not opting to go for the very bottom right. That would be further away from the Terran, but Obviously, if he can just double expand, which it looks like Fairy's going to, then that's going to be super, super good. Because if you can get another 3 gases up, you are going to be in such a good position against a mech player. The one way you beat mech as Zerg is you basically expand all over the map, you get a ridiculously good economy, and you just keep on pumping more and more units. And look at this. There's going to be 3 hatcheries coming up in the bottom right at the same time. We have TTF scanning, but not going to be scanning for this. Now, there is a dropship coming in, but there's 2 Scourge. Oh, the Scourge don't connect. Oh, that could have been a lot better for Fairy there. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the dropship. Wait. Oh, he did hit it with a Scourge. There must have been a 3rd Scourge there. Ooh, that was close. Losing a dropship and 4 vultures at this point would be pretty big. TTF's economy not fully in place right now. 3rd base only just coming up. Only 60 SCVs, which does seem a bit weird to say only, but that's not really that many. You should probably aim for about 70 and look to try and get a 4th base. But, I mean, Fairy's doing everything perfectly here. Essentially just opening up all of the paths through the map to make it a little bit easier later game to bring all of his units through. But he's not actually opted to break TTF out. So TTF is going to have to be the one to go on the offensive if he wants to break through. And this is just a really, really clever decision. Obviously, we've got a vulture drop coming in at the main. Speed is not done on the vultures, though. He sees the hive, he sees the defiler tech, but look at this. The vultures do absolutely nothing. The dropship goes down as well to Scourge. And I mean, Fairy is in such a good spot right now. Evening up the supply in a CVT is not where you want to be as Terran. There's been so many turrets forced. And I tell you, if we get a Great Aspire coming in here, those turrets are going to be worthless. The Guardians are going to kill them for free. But obviously with Defilers coming in, Defilers Swarm going to be super, super good. Obviously you have the Nidus Canal coming up over on the bottom right as well. That's going to make it easier for all the units from the bottom right to sort of go back and forth. Wait, hold on. There's a... What do you mean it's not enabled? How do I enable it? I didn't know Pog did anything, because for me, Pog never showed anything. Okay, so 2-1 is done for the mech. We should have 3-2 relatively soon. No 3-2 upgrades coming in. Very weird decision not to go for those, but gonna delay those a little bit. The tanks gonna try and push forward and break their way through, at least to this top left base. And if he gets in here, there's actually 3 evolution chambers, but look at Fairy's money. Fairy is completely spent out every single time I look at his mineral count. He has a good economy at pretty much most of his bases. Obviously this top right base isn't going to be mining super heavy, but with an Ultraless Cavern on the way as well, this money spending is going to make it so difficult for TTF, because TTF, he needs to be able to kill one of the bases, and he needs to do it quickly, because if he doesn't, the Zerg's economy is going to kind of overwhelm him. Now, looks like TTF wants to try and break through the middle at the same time. I kind of feel like he should just focus on pushing into this base, because killing these 3 Evo chambers would actually be pretty amazing. Stopping the upgrades, super important. Hurts Ultralisks especially, because they can't get up to their full carapace. Plague is coming in as well though, and this is when things are going to start getting really hairy for Fairy, and we'll have to see if things are going to get a little bit leery as TTF staries his way into the base over here. Mindfully saying mech reaching 3-3 is like having Exodia on the field. Oh man, but look at this. We're going to see another couple of upgrades cancelled. The Mutas, they're not on massive upgrades, only +1 carapace. And I mean, there's going to be a ton of links coming in, but look at the angle he's coming in from. He can't get a good engagement against this army. TTF using the train incredibly well, not breaking his way through here. A queen actually being produced here, but is going to go down to this irradiate. Scourge coming in to try and snipe the science vessels, unfortunately unable to do it. And here we go, Ferry gonna jump in with a big engagement here, but there's no Defiler, there's no Swarm. The Swarm is coming in, but way too late and way too far back. The Mutalist going down very, very quickly. Obviously, Ferry does have a ton of bases. Looks like he has actually managed to push TTF back just a little bit here. The Mutalist all going to go down, but they are not going to die in vain because they have forced the Terran mech back, saved this evolution chamber, at least for the time being, and given Ferry time to respond. Now, finally, we do have some Ultralists coming in here. Obviously, Ultras, big... Okay, it looks like he glitched one of his Ultras through the building. That's actually not easy to do. And I don't know if he did it by accident, but... that Vulture, oh my god, he survives. Okay, so he knows where there's a couple of lurkers now, so that's a little bit of a benefit. We've got a big push coming down here to the right-hand side. Now, luckily enough for Ferry, he didn't kill all of the temples, so... I don't think the Queen actually had a chance to do anything. Oh no! Oh my god, TTF taking a ton of damage on his units, and look at the number of Ultralists coming in. 4 carapaces done. Only 1 attack though, which is actually a pretty big deal. But he's going to be coming in from a weird angle again. It looks like he's trying to split his army. But I mean, TTF is just, he's engaging this so well. He's never pushing too far forward. He's always spreading his tanks really well. But this could be a big moment in the game. A lot of the tanks actually getting caught unsieged, and some of them getting sieged next to a swarm. And it looks like Ferry has managed to break through TTF's army here, which is pretty big, but the bottom right is going to be under siege. And this bottom right base, the whole bottom right ecosystem here for the Zerg player is so unbelievably important. Now, do we have 3-3? We've got 3-2. But no 3-3 coming in just yet. And the bottom right gas is going to go down. The main base, obviously the main 3 bases of Ferry, not going to be mine now. But look at this. Lings coming in from absolutely every angle. The Ultra going to get in the action as well. And it looks like Ferry's going to clean this up. Not without taking considerable losses, but still. That's crazy. Now, I think I just... Did I hear a Broodling? Oh, I must have done. Okay, I only missed 1. Okay, I know where the Queens are now, so I know what to look out for. But look at this, Ferry getting ready to go to the top right. He knows that that is where TTF wants to expand. Where are all these Broodlings coming from? I keep hearing it, but I'm not seeing any Queens fly in. I don't get it. Okay, here we go. The Ultra's getting it cleaned up, going up to the top right. So that's a benefit for TTF. If he can expand to the top right here, he is going to be in a good spot. We're going to go to a split map situation. Now, we've got a load of Scourge coming in. Lings going down, Ultra's going down as well, but trading away units for tanks is all Ferry has to do. TTF, mined out in his main, mined out in his natural, and the third base is going to be, it's just over halfway, given he took it so late. Okay, we have a ton of additional Queens coming in here. 6 Queens. Let's have a look at the Broodlings. I want to see them come in. Oh, there we go. Double Broodling coming down. Triple Broodling. Not Broodlinging these 3 tanks for some reason. I don't think he realizes he has these Queens. Well, at least with energy anyway. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But obviously more and more tanks going down is a big problem here for TTF. As TTF does not have the money to replenish this army. Obviously 3-2 mech, very strong. 14 kill tank right now. That's just completely ridiculous. More and more... Whoa, I thought there was Queens flying around again, but it is just going to be... Oh my god, Lings killed a single Goliath. How is that possible? Okay, here we go. We're going to see a TTF trying to break down into the bottom right again. There's actually going to be Vultures laying mines this time, which will help. Does need to be careful though. There's going to be a lot of Lings moving up the front or the top part of the map. Going to go for a little bit of a counterattack. Try and deal with some of the reinforcements. And adding Sunkens, adding hatcheries, just delaying the inevitable here for Ferry in the bottom right. Nice push by TTF. Is going to be able to clean up this base eventually. Looks like we're going to have another load of units going in. Nice mines being laid defensively by TTF. The bottom right base has now gone down. TTF has expanded to the top right. Interestingly, we've got SCVs killing a hatchery. That isn't something you see every day. But I actually kind of want to keep an eye on this because it's very, very rare you actually see this happen. But really, really nicely done by TTF. That's another dead base here. And look at the number of tanks killing all of the drones. Down to 42 drones now is Fairy. But this, remember, is the entire standing army here of TTF. Now, oh my god, using Burrow as well. Really, really good. Keeping his Lings alive a little bit longer. All of the tanks have been cleaned up. And the bottom right base has been saved. Okay, now this single egg blocking the CC from going down. That's kind of funny. Now, TTF hasn't expanded up there yet because look at this. His units are stuck. He needs to manually rally them over. He cannot just randomly right-click due to the way neutral buildings function with the pathing. And this is a big problem. TTF could have another mining base right now, and he doesn't. And he's not realized. They're just constantly going back and forth. We've seen this so many times from different players. Because TTF has to saturate his bases here. Otherwise, he is not going to be able to win this game. And they're still stuck. And look at this. We're going to have Fairy breaking through the temples. And that's going to add another counterattack path for Fairy to get through. Now, TTF still does have a ton of tanks. They're going to be pushing forward. We've got a single Irradiate going down over here. Probably a bit of a waste of an Irradiate, I would say. But, oh, the vessel going down. That's a pretty big deal. And TTF is going to be forced to pull back. Unfortunately, TTF's SCVs are still stuck. So that is... I find it kind of funny that Fairy can see this base, but he's not actually sending anything up there just yet. He's going to try and break his way through the... oh, the temples went... Oh my god, the SCVs killed the temple. That's actually kind of unfortunate because now the Zerg can get up there. But looks like we do have a couple of queens coming in once again. Looks like he did just Broodling, at least one of them does have a Broodling left. But Broodling, obviously one of the more efficient spells in the game. You click and it kills a unit. Obviously very good. It kills it quicker than a Radiate as well, so it kills it instantly. But not all units can be Broodlinged. Fairy trying to push into the top right. We've got a big Vulture run by coming in here to the third base. There's not actually that much here to defend. And he's only on 45 drones right now. Let's see if he can hold on. But the trouble is, there are now Lings in the top right, Lings and Ultras in the top middle, and SCVs still stuck over here. A little bit unfortunate there by TTF. He's going to be kicking himself for that. But the tank's coming in, trying to see if he can clean up these bases. Now, the Vulture's still over here. They did get a ton of drones, now down to 38 is Fairy. The main base is mined out. The natural is almost gone. The third base is almost gone as well. But look at this. This tank spread is so good right now by TTF. And he's going to be able to hold on to the top right. And that could be the moment that could win in this game. He's still got a decent bank. Fairy's down to essentially 3 bases. So he's going to be back on even bases with the Terran player. And he's going to have to try and make something happen now. Is this going to be a big drop? No, there's no units to do. I don't really know where Fairy's supply is. Okay, he's got a lot of like random supply over here. He somehow saved that evolution chamber the whole game. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have a big engagement in the middle of the map. Some of the final remaining tanks of TTF are going to go down. So many Broodlings going down on those tanks. A massive amount of damage being done by TTF's standing army. And wow, Fairy is in such a good position right now. We've got a couple of Hydralisks heading in for maybe a counterattack in the top right. They're likely going to go to that mine. Nope, going to keep them alive for now. Now, does TTF have enough to be able to deal with this? We're going to see him try and wall in the top right base because this base is what he needs to save. But look at this. There's so many units coming in. There's a big number of tanks heading down, but it's likely not going to be enough here. Fairy's army getting on top of this command center. Please don't kill it. Please infest it. No! No infest coming in. That was the perfect infest opportunity, and I am disappointed. But this could very well be GG. Look at Fairy's army. It's absolutely massive. Swarm coming down. The final remaining wow, actually building buildings under the swarm to stop the Hydras being able to stand in it. But unfortunately, this is just way too many units from Fairy now. The tank's trying to hold on valiantly. But GG, TTF taps out and Fairy takes game number 3. Okay, so that was a pretty sick TVZ. Obviously, we don't get many late game TVZs very often, so that was really cool to see that. Obviously, TTF doing a really, really good job, but Fairy just doing a little bit better. Now, that does keep White's hope alive in the series as we head into game number 4. It's going to be aSh's Hit 'em Up versus White's Buy when we get back after this very short break. See you guys very soon. Neo Arkanoid also makes its appearance in STPL Season 2, a map from 2006. It's from the OGN Star League. Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for game number 4 with aSh still up 2-1. Fairy obviously did a good job clawing his way back in that game. But let's have a look at our next let's have a look at our next map, then we'll have a look at the players. But the map's going to be Carthage 3, a really, really cool map, a really great map for TVT as well. We've had 3 of them so far. I mean, Terran are doing pretty well on this map overall against, but not against Protoss. But TVT, obviously perfectly balanced. Nothing too much to be said here other than we do have very narrow pathways through the middle, which makes it very easy to split later on. And our 2 players starting us off here for aSh is going to be the Canadian Terran Hit 'em Up, aka Logan. Now, Logan is one of the strongest players on aSh's roster. He joined them near the end of Season 1. He took over as captain at the beginning of Season 2. He's been doing a fantastic job, and he's one of the reasons why we see such a strong aSh lineup now. In terms of TVT, he's actually 0-2 against Terran, so that could be a little bit difficult, but he did play against Koga and Kryok, who are 2 of the best foreign Terrans right now, so nothing too much to be said there, as his opponent is going to be Bai. Now, this is definitely going to be a hard game for him. Bai has got one of the strongest win ratios of anyone in the entire STPL. He's tied rank 10 with Tai 2 in the overall rankings for ELO, and he's got a 90% win rate. How ridiculous. Isn't Tuskarl the best foreign pro gamer? Nice meme. Okay, but it's going to be cool here as we get into game number 4. It's a TBT on Carthage 3 between Hit 'em Up and Bai. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the Red Terran fighting from Canada for aSh. It's Hit 'em Up. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right is for White Clan in the orange from South Korea. It's Bai. Now, one thing to remember is aSh are 2-1 up. aSh are 2-1 up against White Clan right now, which is kind of crazy. But that means if Bai loses this game, we'll be saying bye to him in the series, as well as White Clan, as aSh will take a massive upset over White Clan if he wins. Now, Hit 'em Up is playing cheeky. He is going for a proxy 10 racks. Now, there is a build in TBT you can do, which is known only as the 10-10-10. And that's what we're going to get here. He's going to go 10 barracks, 10 refinery, and 10 factory. He's not going to be building a supply depot for a while here. And we are going to see if this is going to work against Bai. Bai very likely to play super heavy macro here and could even opt... No, okay, I was going to say could opt to go for 14cc. But it's going to be a barracks, so this is something. Now, 10-10-10 is super all in. Okay, there is a 10 supply depot as well. But we are going to see the factory coming up after this very, very shortly. Yeah, get those 6-minute cursor modes ready. You'll definitely need those. Now look at this. It's going to be around 2 minutes 25 seconds maybe. No, 2 minutes 15. And we're going to have a factory coming in this game. World record factory timing right here. Factory already coming in. Bai is not going for any gas, so it's going to be 1 racks fast expand. And you know what beats this? A single vulture. Because the bunker is going to be 1,000,000 years away. And look at this. Bai is going to run into the base. He's going to see that there's a gas, but does not see anything mining on it. So he's probably thinking, well, the gas has just finished up. This is a weird build. He's not going to know it's going to be the 10-10-10, surely. Now, Bai is immediately going to send a second SCV out here. Are we going to see a bunker? Yeah, he's going to get a bunker immediately. He knows something's up. Obviously, he didn't see the barracks, so that's a pretty big tell. But it's going to be 4 Marines, a Vulture. And if Hit 'em Up wins this game, they win the series. So that could be a pretty big deal. Okay, so the SCV going to see the bunkers coming up. This bunker is obviously the only thing that is keeping Bai in this game right now. Because if these Marines, if this SCV and this Vulture... if they all push together, he could actually kill the bunker. It's not the easiest thing to kill a bunker. But look, we only just now have the factory starting. There's going to be a massive push coming in at the front. A couple of SCVs used to block here. But the Marines, the Vulture, going to run past the bunker. Not going to kill the bunker at all. Now it's going to be Marines versus SCVs. Marines versus Marines. The Vulture with a really nice target firing there. And all of the SCVs from Bai go down. The Vulture from Hit 'em Up is left alive. And it looks like this could be it. Now, nice block on the barracks. Going to make it a little bit harder. But this is so difficult. The Marines targeting SCVs here. Vulture's now 2-shot or 3-shotting SCVs as well. The Marines helping out so much. Bai is down to 9 workers against the 14 of Hit 'em Up. And it looks like this very well could be it. The SCV really should repair this Vulture for good measure. But, oh, building a bunker next to the factory. And there's nothing that Bai can do about it. He's going to have to micro. But how do you micro against 2 Vultures? 3 Vultures. This is just insane. He's going to be one-shotting SCVs now. Oh, the Marine goes down before the bunker's done. Cancel the bunker. It's not doing anything. No, going to keep it up alive. There is an additional Vulture coming in, down to 4 SCVs, and it looks like we're going to be saying bye to Bai here, but nice pick-off with those SCVs. But GG, Bai taps out, and Hit 'em Up takes game number 4, as well as the series for aSh. Now that is kind of insane. If you followed STPL Season 1 at all, you would know that aSh was one of the weaker teams, and White Clan were one of the strongest. But today, aSh have done what many clans have been unable to do, and they've taken down White Clan, and that is absolutely crazy. Well done to aSh. And of course, let's bring up the results just to confirm everything we just saw, because the results are obviously what matter at the end of the day. It was a really cool series as well. There were some really good games. So we'll just quickly go through them. Starting off, we had Squall versus Joa in the 1000th game of the STPL overall. There is now more than 1,000 games in the database that have been played between such incredible players. Then we had Dreamer taking out Jessica in a really cool PvP. Ferry taking out TTF in a ridiculously good CVT. And we had a really weird TVT to finish us off. Hit 'em up, taking down one of the strongest players, not only in White Clan, but also in the STPL, to win the series 3-1 for aSh. Now, that is ridiculous, but of course that is just one of the 2 series we have coming up today. The next series will be coming up after this break. It's going to be DM versus Bull. Just a massive shout out quickly to essentially both of our sponsors. The first one being Liquipedia for doing a really good job, well, for really being super supportive. They are a great resource. They're giving us $500 towards the prize pool, and pretty much, wait, YouTube just changed its start page. Okay, well, I guess we'll try and figure that out afterwards. But the other sponsor, of course, is Matrino, who have donated $100 worth of 50-cent codes. We need to use them all, guys. So before you go anywhere throughout the break, you're going to have probably about 3 to 4 minutes, maybe 5. Hit that Matrino link, sign in with one of the many things you can sign in with, and essentially use the code LSTPL to add 50 cents to the prize pool completely free at the cost of Matrino being so amazing. So see you guys when we get back after this short break.